In this lecture, we are going to learn about how we are going to use root parameters and just think in this screen you can see some details, this row and this row, and just think when you click on this row you want to see all the details of this row in the different screen. And for do that, when you click this one, you need to pass the ID of this one into the next screen and show the details. We will see how we are going to do that. First thing is to do, I'll design a new page to display details. I'll open a page called details.html. Inside of that details.html, I'm going to use these things: model name, model status, name, I'm going to get the copy of this I'm going to put all the details. Second one is email, next one is model, status, and the purchase date. And I'll put this one inside of div, and I'll put this, I'll put some margin in the top. I'll put just 200 pixels in the top margin. And for the details screen, I'm going to create the new root for a details screen. I'll configure when you click the details slash dot id, and that time I need to load the details screen. I'll put template URL as detail.html, and I just put double.id here because I'm going to pass this ID into details.html, and I'm going to declare some controller here. Before I am assigning a controller here, I'm going to declare in the top app.controller. I'll put this controller name as detail controller, and I want to use the same things, scope. I just stop the running of the application, scope. Then I need to use service type HTTP, and I'll give the function. I'm going to use same things, scope and HTTP. inside of this one I need to capture the root parameters. For that I'm going to use another service called root params, and I'm going to use inside of that function that root params. And I'll just alert. I just need to out this root param dot id, and now I am going to the header.html. In this href I need to edit as details slash, I want to use the id people's dot id. In the dataset icon.json I have a id. In the app.js I have assigned details.id. In the header.html details.peoples.id. When I hit the people name, I need to redirect to this details.html, and inside of that controller, for that details controller, I need to assign that details controller into the root controller as details controller. I think I have misspelled here. Details controller, right? And I need to give alias controller as detcon, and I need to put this one inside of double quotations, and I think I have done the parameter passing. We will run the application and see. Yes, header is running, loads with the details. I need to hit this name of the person and it returns. We will check details.id. Oh, I forgot the slash here, and just run and see. Details loaded. I want to click this name, Jeff Larson. Yet the details are loaded and it returns to this details.html, but I didn't get this alert, and we will see why I didn't get this alert. And details controller, I'll copy and detcon controller as. We will stop it and run it and see. I'll hit on the person, and yes, things are loaded, but I didn't get this alert. Root params. Yes, I think I used it correctly. I'm checking why I didn't get the alert. And root parameters, oops, I missed the S. And now run and see. I'll hit Jeff Larson, and yes, I get the alert, I just missed S here, that's why I didn't get the alert. We'll check the ID number is 10,003 and we'll go to iPhone.json. I have clicked on Jeff Larson. Yes, ID is 10,003. We will remove the alert from here. We will bring the filtered data into the display from this controller. I'll get that all the details from the JSON file. I'll copy paste, and actually I have used in the controller in the screen as peoples. I'll put the object in here as peoples, but when HTTP get, it returns the all the data in the iPhone.json, but in here for the peoples I need the filtered data, the current person's data, and for that I am going to use another Angular service that's called the filter. Now I want filter this iPhone.json, the details from the ID. For that I need to write a command, the filtering module. We'll see how we are going to do that. App dot I'll stop this running and we will run after I finish the typing. App dot filter, and I need to give a name for this filter. I'll put filter by ID, and I'm going to declare a function, and in that function is going to return that filtered object. For that I'm going to input that object array, obj array, and I'm going to use the ID, and I'm going to use a variable called I equal 0, and I want a length to use for each loop. Objar dot length, and I'm going to use a for each to find where is this the object, and going to use I less than length and I plus plus. Inside of that I need to check object is equal plus I dot id ith element ID I want to check equal with this the past ID, and if it's equal I am going to return the object objar. That's how I written the filtered function. That's a command function to the full Angular module. number 19, x19, and I'm going to call this filter in here, filter, and filter, I have written this filter as filter by ID, and I have first I have passed the I need to pass the array object, that means the data, and then I need to pass the ID of the select root params. And now we see how this one is work. I have get the data from the JSON file, and I have a written function to filter that data, and I'm going to filter using that return ID params.id, and I'm going to equal that object into this people's object. We'll run and see how this one is work. Header.html is loaded, and I'm going to click on Jeff Larson. Yes, it clicked, but no any data is returned. Okay, I have used filter by ID, and I have to use I capital here, and I'll go to the header again and click on Jeff Larson. Nothing happens. We will check. We will stop this one and run. Yes, I have run it again. Yes, header page loaded. I'll click on Jeff Larson, and yes, it loads all the data related to that person. And we'll go back and see. You can see when I click on Jeff Larson in the left hand side bottom, you can see the link details/id, and when I go to Larry Marshall, then you can see with the ID how this one is loaded with the ID. This ID is loaded in the header.html here, details.peoples.id, and when it clicks, this controller is works, and root params.id is returned, and I have used the service called filter and to filter this ID and return the object related to that ID. That's all the things about the Angular root provider. I think you have a better knowledge about Angular root provider now.